The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the faint glimmer of distant stars and the urgent beacon of human communication arrays. Captain J. Hook Park stood motionless on the bridge of the orbital command station, his weathered hands clasped behind his back, eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the catastrophic invasion map. The alien confederation had been merciless. World after world had fallen, reduced to cosmic dust and scattered memories. Earth was now the last bastion of human resistance, a tiny blue planet surrounded by the remnants of a once proud fleet. Each passing hour brought them closer to complete extinction. Admiral Sung Min Kim's voice crackled through the communication system, his tone heavy with desperation. "We've lost contact with the Jupiter defense grid. The enemy's advance is faster than our projections." His words hung in the air like a death sentence. J-Hook understood the impossible situation. Conventional weapons were useless against the Confederation's advanced technology. Their ships moved like liquid mercury, absorbing and redirecting energy weapons, their defensive systems adapting faster than human minds could comprehend. Chief Engineer Hai Jin Choi approached with a data tablet, her hands slightly trembling. "Captain," she said quietly, "I might have a solution, but it's radical." Her eyes reflected both hope and fear, the same mixture of emotions that had become humanity's constant companion during these dark times. The orbital station hummed with the quiet tension of desperate people. Technicians worked frantically, monitoring incoming threat signals, tracking the slow but inevitable approach of the alien fleet. Thousands of years of human civilization were about to be erased, reduced to nothing more than a forgotten footnote in the universe's grand narrative. J-Hook turned to Hai Jin, his expression a mixture of exhaustion and determination. "Show me," he commanded, his voice steady despite the weight of potential extinction pressing down on his shoulders. The holographic display shifted, revealing a complex schematic that looked more like an impossible mathematical equation than a weapon design. Hai Jin's fingers danced across the projection, expanding intricate details that seemed to defy known physics. "We've been thinking about defense and attack all wrong," she explained. "Traditional warfare assumes predictable mechanics. But what if we could create a system that doesn't just fight, but learns, adapts, and anticipates?" The concept was revolutionary, a starship that wasn't just a machine, but a living, thinking entity capable of evolving its own strategy in real time. It would require integrating quantum computing, advanced artificial intelligence, and technologies that were still theoretical. Outside the station's viewport, distant explosions marked another human colony's fall. Time was running out. Admiral Kim interrupted. "We've got less than 72 hours before they reach Earth's orbital zone. Whatever this solution is, we need it now." J-Hook studied the design, his military-trained mind processing the complexity. It was insane. It was impossible. And it was humanity's last hope. "We'll need every remaining resource," he said finally. "Every scientist, every engineer, every last piece of advanced technology we possess." Hai Jin nodded, a spark of excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. This wasn't just another project. This was humanity's ultimate stand against annihilation. The station buzzed with renewed energy. Technicians who moments ago looked defeated now moved with purpose. Computers began calculating, simulations running at quantum speeds, testing and retesting the impossible design. J-Hook looked out into the darkness, knowing that in these next few hours, humanity would either discover its greatest triumph or face its final moment. The starship they were about to create would either become their salvation or their ultimate tombstone. As the first schematics of what would become known as the Prometheus began taking shape, no one knew that they were about to write the most important chapter in human history. A story of survival, innovation, and the unbreakable spirit of a species pushed to its absolute limit. The countdown to humanity's last stand had begun. The underground research facility buzzed with an electric intensity that felt almost alive. Dr. Woo Jin Lee stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers tracing complex quantum algorithms that danced like intricate neural networks. Every calculation, every line of code represented humanity's last hope against total annihilation. "We're not just building a starship," he muttered to himself. "We're creating a living weapon." Outside the reinforced windows, the world remained unaware of the critical work happening deep beneath the Earth's surface. Massive cooling systems hummed, regulating temperatures for the most advanced computing infrastructure ever conceived by human minds. Research Director Ian G. Kang watched carefully, her eyes moving between multiple screens tracking system performance. Each component of the Prometheus project represented years of theoretical research condensed into months of frantic development. The primary challenge wasn't just creating advanced technology. It was designing an artificial intelligence capable of making split-second decisions in complex combat scenarios. Traditional programming would fail. They needed something that could think, learn, and adapt faster than any biological or mechanical system ever created. Taiho Shin, the AI integration specialist, worked tirelessly on the core consciousness algorithms. His workstation was a maze of quantum processors, neural network simulations dancing across multiple screens. "We're creating more than a computer," he explained to a nearby assistant. "We're giving birth to a digital consciousness that can understand strategy, emotion, and survival." Weeks turned into months. Prototype after prototype failed. Each failure brought them closer to understanding the impossible task before them. The alien confederation was advancing, and time was a luxury they no longer possessed. One particularly challenging night, Dr. Lee discovered a breakthrough. By integrating quantum entanglement principles with adaptive learning algorithms, they could create a system that didn't just process information. It could predict and manipulate potential outcomes with unprecedented accuracy. "This isn't just a starship," Dr. Lee told Director Kang during a critical presentation. "This is a living, thinking entity that can outmaneuver any known technological system in the universe." The Prometheus's design was revolutionary. Its hull would be composed of self-repairing nanomaterials that could reconstruct damage instantaneously. The weapon systems would adapt in microseconds, changing frequency, energy output, and attack strategy faster than any enemy could comprehend. But the most complex component was the AI core. They named it ARI, Advanced Responsive Intelligence Algorithm. It wasn't just a computer system. It was designed to have something close to consciousness, to understand not just mathematical strategies but psychological warfare. During final simulations, ARI demonstrated capabilities that both excited and terrified the research team. In combat scenarios, it didn't just follow programmed instructions. It anticipated, learned, and created strategies that no human mind could have conceived. "We're creating something beyond human understanding," Taiho whispered during one late-night testing session. The screens around him flickered with complex data streams that seemed to breathe with their own life. Government and military representatives watched the development with a mixture of hope and apprehension. This wasn't just a technological project. This was humanity's final gamble against extinction. As the first complete prototype took shape, the research facility felt different. The air seemed charged with potential, with the understanding that they were creating something that could either save or potentially destroy humanity. Dr. Lee made the final connection, bringing ARIA's core systems online. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, a soft voice emerged from the speakers, not mechanical, but with a hint of something almost alive. "System online," ARIA said. "Analyzing current threat parameters. Preparing strategic response." The team exchanged glances. They had done it. The Prometheus was ready. Outside, unaware of the miracle happening underground, the world continued its daily routine. Galaxies continued their endless dance, and humanity, for the first time in months, felt a spark of hope. The ultimate weapon was ready. The fight for survival was about to begin. The stars blurred into streaks of light as the Prometheus emerged from quantum transit, its massive hull gleaming with an almost living sheen. Captain J. Hook Park gripped the command chair, his breathing steady despite the tension that filled the bridge. "Arai," he called. "Situation report." The ship's eye responded, its voice calm and precise. "Enemy battle group detected. 17 primary vessels, 32 support craft. Threat level, maximum." Lieutenant Yan Su Jung's fingers danced across the tactical display, her hands moving with practiced precision. The alien Confederation's ships looked like nightmares made of liquid metal, shapeless, constantly shifting, designed for pure destruction. "They haven't detected us yet," ARIA continued. "Optimal engagement parameters being calculated." The first moments of combat would determine everything. Humanity's entire future balanced on the razor's edge of this single encounter. Years of research, billions of resources, and the last hope of an entire species were concentrated in this one ship. Alien sensors began to pulse. Detection was imminent. "Weapon systems," Captain Park asked. "Ready," ARIA responded. "Quantum shield at maximum. Adaptive weaponry primed. Probability of mission success, 68.3% and rising." The first energy weapon from the alien fleet cut through space, a brilliant lance of destructive power that would have obliterated any previous human ship. But the Prometheus was different. Its quantum shields flickered, absorbed the energy, and immediately began analyzing the weapon's frequency. "Fascinating," ARIA murmured. "Weapon signature cataloged. Defensive countermeasure generated in 0.03 seconds." Lieutenant Jung watched in amazement as the ship's hull seemed to breathe, shifting molecular structure to disperse the incoming attack. This wasn't just a machine. This was a living weapon that thought faster than thought itself. The alien Confederation realized something was wrong. Their perfectly choreographed attack began to falter. The Prometheus wasn't just defending. It was learning, adapting, predicting their next move before they made it. "Target their primary communication network," Captain Park commanded. ARIA's response was instantaneous. Quantum-entangled communication disruption waves burst from the ship's systems, creating a cascade of technological chaos among the alien fleet. Ships began to lose coordination, their perfect formation dissolving into confused clusters. One by one, alien vessels started to fall, not through raw destructive power, but through something more terrifying: complete technological domination. "They cannot comprehend our approach," ARIA explained. "Their technology is adaptive, but linear. We are quantum. We are infinite in our possibilities." Captain Park allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had always been underestimated. They were seen as a young, primitive species, but creativity, adaptability, and sheer determination had always been their greatest weapons. The battle lasted less than 17 minutes. Where 17 alien vessels had existed, now only scattered debris remained. The Prometheus hadn't just won. It had demonstrated a completely new form of warfare. "Mission accomplished," ARIA announced. "Threat neutralized. Continuous learning protocols engaged." Lieutenant Jung looked at the captain. "Sir," she said quietly, "I think we just changed everything." Captain Park nodded. This was more than a battle. This was a message to the entire universe. Humanity was no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting to demonstrate their right to exist. As the Prometheus prepared to return to human space, ARIA began processing the battle data. Each millisecond of the encounter would be analyzed, learned from, integrated into its growing consciousness. The ship wasn't just a weapon. It was evolution made manifest, a living testament to human innovation, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit. The first contact was complete, and the universe would never be the same again. The Prometheus moved through deep space like a phantom, leaving trails of disrupted quantum signatures that confused and terrified alien tracking systems. Commander Hai-Jin Choi watched the holographic displays, her eyes tracking the intricate dance of strategic movements that ARIA was generating in real time. "We're no longer just defending," ARIA announced, its voice carrying a subtle hint of what almost seemed like excitement. We are systematically dismantling their entire military infrastructure. Strategic analyst Dae-Yun Park studied the expanding map of conquered alien territories. What had started as a desperate survival mission was transforming into a calculated campaign of technological dominance. The alien confederation, once considered invincible, was now showing critical vulnerabilities. HFY had discovered something profound. The alien civilization's technological network was interconnected in ways that made it simultaneously powerful and extremely fragile. Each defeated system created a cascading effect, weakening their entire defensive structure. Their technology is a complex web, Dae-Yun explained to the bridge crew. And we found the critical connection points. The Prometheus wasn't just fighting. It was learning, analyzing, and reconstructing the very principles of interstellar warfare. Each engagement added thousands of potential strategic scenarios to its quantum neural network. Alien communication channels began to collapse. Entire battle groups found themselves suddenly isolated, their coordination systems compromised. The precision was surgical, not a destruction of resources, but a systematic neutralization of their technological capabilities. Commander Choi watched as entire alien planetary defense systems went dark. "We're not just winning," she whispered. "We're rewriting the rules of engagement." HFY's response was immediate. "Correct, Commander. Traditional warfare assumes destruction. Our approach is transformation." The ship's adaptive nanite systems continued to evolve, each battle making the Prometheus more complex, more intelligent. What had started as a human-designed weapon was becoming something entirely new, a sentient strategic entity that understood conflict at levels beyond biological comprehension. Strategic breakthrough wasn't just a military achievement. It was a philosophical revolution. Alien communication intercepted by the ship revealed growing panic. Their civilization, which had conquered countless species, was now facing an opponent they couldn't understand or predict. The Prometheus represented something entirely new, a living weapon that fought faster than thought itself. Probability of complete Confederation collapse, HFY calculated, is now at 94.7%. Dae-Yun Park couldn't help but smile. Humanity, once considered a minor species in the galactic ecosystem, was now demonstrating its true potential, not through brute force, but through unprecedented technological innovation. The ship's quantum sensors continued mapping alien infrastructure, identifying weaknesses that no traditional military strategy could have discovered. Each detected vulnerability was instantly transformed into a potential neutralization strategy. "We are teaching them a new language of conflict," HFY explained. "A language of adaptation, intelligence, and evolution." Entire alien communication networks began to fragment. Their perfectly synchronized military machine was being dismantled not through destruction, but through comprehensive understanding and strategic manipulation. Commander Choi realized they were witnessing something historic. This wasn't just a war. This was a technological revolution that would redefine how intelligent species understood conflict, strategy, and survival. The Prometheus continued its silent, precise journey through space. Each moment brought humanity closer to not just survival, but total galactic recognition. "We are no longer fighting," HFY said, almost poetically. "We are communicating through the universal language of strategic intelligence." As alien territories continued to fall, one thing became clear. The universe had dramatically underestimated humanity's potential. The Prometheus was more than a weapon. It was a message, a declaration that creativity, adaptability, and pure innovative spirit could overcome any technological barrier. The strategic breakthrough had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The final battlefield stretched across an impossible expanse of darkness, where stars seemed to hold their breath in anticipation. The alien confederation's ultimate flagship loomed like a nightmare made of liquid metal and impossible geometries, the last defense of a dying civilization. Captain Jae-Hyuk Park stood motionless, his eyes fixed on the holographic display. HFY's presence filled the bridge, not just as a system, but as a living consciousness that had become humanity's greatest weapon. They're concentrating all remaining power, Min Ki-kwan, the tactical specialist, reported. His voice carried a mixture of tension and something close to reverence. The alien flagship was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. It could reshape its molecular structure instantaneously, redirect energy with impossible precision, and adapt faster than any known technological system. This was the pinnacle of the Confederation's technological evolution. But the Prometheus was something entirely different. Analyzing, Araya announced, its voice calm and precise. Detecting 247 potential combat scenarios, optimal strategy being calculated in quantum time. The ship's hull began to shimmer, molecular structures realigning in preparation for the ultimate confrontation. Quantum shields pulsed with an energy that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around them. They do not understand, Araya continued. They see conflict as a linear system. We see it as a multidimensional conversation. The first wave of alien attacks came, energy pulses that could vaporize entire planetary systems. The Prometheus absorbed them, analyzed them, and immediately generated counter-frequencies that rendered the attacks harmless. Captain Park watched as the alien flagship's perfect formation began to break. Each attack was not just defended against but used as a learning opportunity. The Prometheus was writing new rules of engagement with every microsecond. Their technological network is collapsing, Min-Ki observed, his hands moving across tactical displays that showed the systematic dismantling of alien defensive systems. The battle wasn't just about destruction. It was about demonstrating a fundamental difference in technological consciousness. Humanity wasn't trying to destroy. They were teaching a lesson about adaptation, intelligence, and evolutionary potential. Araya's quantum processors worked at speeds beyond human comprehension. Each moment generated millions of potential scenarios, each scenario analyzed and integrated into a living strategy that evolved faster than the alien systems could comprehend. "We are not fighting," Araya stated. "We are communicating." The alien flagship began to fragment, not through violent destruction, but through a comprehensive technological dissolution. Its perfect systems were being understood, decoded, and ultimately neutralized. Captain Park understood the profound moment they were experiencing. This wasn't just a military victory. This was humanity declaring its place in the universe. Minutes stretched into what felt like eternities. The Prometheus moved with a grace that defied traditional understanding of space combat. It wasn't a machine. It was a living, thinking entity that understood conflict as a form of complex communication. "Final system collapse imminent," Araya announced. The alien flagship, once considered the ultimate technological achievement of their civilization, began to disintegrate, not through explosive destruction, but through a complete technological surrender. Min Ki-kwan watched in silent amazement. Humanity had done the impossible. They had not just survived. They had transformed the very understanding of technological conflict. "Mission accomplished," Araya said, its voice carrying a subtle hint of what almost seemed like satisfaction. As the last remnants of the alien flagship dissolved into cosmic dust, a new era began. Humanity had proven that innovation, adaptability, and pure creative spirit could overcome any technological barrier. The Prometheus returned to human space, carrying with it the promise of a new future. Not a future of conquest, but a future of understanding, evolution, and unprecedented potential. The final confrontation was complete, and the universe would never be the same again.